She heard the critics, she saw the hate, and instead of backing down, she proved them all wrong. From Cheryl Swoops questioning her toughness to Jonquel Jones shutting down false narratives.
Be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way and they thought that she was. And so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that. And then they realized like, oh no, she's actually not racist.
Caitlin Clark's rookie season wasn't just about breaking records. It was about silencing doubters. So how did Clark flip the script and force even her biggest critics to respect her? Let's break it all down. Cheryl Swoops, a four-time WNBA champion and Hall of Famer, made it clear from the start she wasn't a Caitlin Clark believer. She questioned if Clark could handle the physicality of the WNBA. She suggested that Clark's popularity was overhyped. She even made backhanded comments about Clark's rise, implying that other players weren't getting enough credit. But then came Cynthia Cooper, one of Swoop's former teammates and the first ever WNBA MVP. Cooper publicly defended Clark, calling her one of the craftiest players she's ever seen.
Like, oh my God, but she's so crafty. This is what people don't know about Caitlin. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so-so. She is a great passer, but also she's crafty. I saw her get the ball, lay it up on the back door cut, like they waiting for her to pop out to the three-point line. Boom, she slips back door, gets that bucket. Like, she is crafty, and she's just a rookie. She's just a rookie. That level of greatness, that level of play on a consistent basis as a rookie puts you up in the upper echelon of any league, definitely the W.
She admitted that Clark wasn't just a shooter, she was an elite passer, a high IQ player, and a true game changer. This wasn't just about Clark's performance. This was a debate between WNBA legends about her legitimacy. And by the end of the season, Clark had won. Clark's critics weren't just former players. A group of online voices tried to push a false narrative, claiming that Clark was a symbol for something she never stood for. They tried to paint her as a divider. But then came Jonquel Jones, the 2021 WNBA MVP. Jones didn't just defend Clark, she shut down any attempts to use Clark's success for a negative agenda.
On to Caitlin Clark and then use her as, like, I guess, like this fuel to be able to be the way that they want it to be. They want her to be the representation of their racism and you know, like their view on the world, and she's not like that.
She stated plainly that Clark wasn't the player people tried to make her out to be. She was just a basketball star who deserved respect. Her words shifted the conversation, forcing people to separate Clark from the drama. And in doing so, Jones made it clear Clark belongs in the WNBA, and no one can take that away from her. Tamika Catchings, the Indiana Fever legend, steps in. Tamika Catchings is one of the greatest players in WNBA history. A WNBA champion, MVP, and Olympic gold medalist, she's seen every great player come through Indiana. And when Catchings spoke about Clark, she didn't hold back.
Start off, Caitlin Clark right now, Indiana Fever. What is she doing for the WNBA? How much do you love it?
Obviously, Caitlin Clark effect, being able to come in, but what I think is what she brings.
Yeah.
Coming from the college realm, there's a lot of great rookies that have come in. She's definitely spearheading it all.
She acknowledged that Clark had transformed the Fever franchise overnight. She recognized that Clark wasn't just playing well, she was elevating the entire team. When one of the most respected Indiana Fever legends gives you that kind of praise, it's hard for critics to keep their argument alive. Clark's redemption story was never about words, it was about actions. Clark didn't clap back at critics. She didn't engage in the off-court drama. She just played. And in doing so, she proved every hater wrong. She forced Swoops to watch as her former teammate praised Clark. She had Jonquel Jones publicly shutting down negative narratives. She earned the respect of Tamika Catchings, an Indiana Fever icon. This wasn't just about basketball, it was about validation. And by the end of the season, there was only one question left. Who's still doubting Caitlin Clark now? Imagine being a little girl watching your basketball hero dominate the game. Now imagine years later, that same hero is standing in front of you, praising your greatness. For Caitlin Clark, that moment happened with Maya Moore.
All I ever wanted to do was meet her. I didn't have a phone. My dad didn't have his phone, so I just ran over. It's like, can you sign my shirt? Signed my shirt, gave her a hug, ran away. It's like the most vivid memory I have of like women's basketball growing up. And like, honestly, like I still tell everybody that story because it meant so much to me. It's like so cool.
But Moore wasn't the only WNBA legend to recognize Clark's rise. Multiple MVPs, past and present, saw the impact she was making. So how did this full circle moment unfold? And what did it mean for Clark's journey? Before Caitlin Clark was a household name, before she was breaking records, before she was a professional athlete, she was a kid with a dream. And, like so many young basketball players, she looked up to Maya Moore. Clark has told the story many times. She still remembers the exact moment she met Moore. She didn't have a phone to take a picture. She didn't ask for anything more than a quick autograph and a hug. And for her, that memory never faded. But years later, something incredible happened. On the night of Caitlin Clark's final regular season game at Iowa, she walked into the arena expecting another electric crowd. What she didn't expect, the moment Clark saw Moore, she lit up like a kid again. They embraced. They shared a moment. And in that moment, it was clear. Clark wasn't just the fan anymore. She was now a peer. She had entered the same world as her childhood hero.
It's just really, really cool to think about one of those little girls who became Caitlin Clark. So I think it just goes to show you when you just do your best to be in the moment and treat people with kindness and just be present when you can, it really makes a big difference. And looking at the type of person and leader that she can be with people.
For Maya Moore, the moment was just as special. She had seen so many young girls look up to her over the years, but now, one of those little girls had grown up and become Caitlin Clark. Moore spoke about how powerful it was to see the next generation thriving. She wasn't just there to watch Clark play, she was there to acknowledge her greatness. That alone speaks volumes. But Clark's full circle moments didn't stop with Maya Moore. Former All-Star Game MVP Erica Wheeler, a veteran in the WNBA, had a different kind of praise for Clark. Wheeler didn't just focus on Clark's talent. She talked about who Clark was as a person. She described how Clark kept the Indiana Fever's locker room lighthearted, making jokes, keeping the team loose, and helping ease the pressure of a historic rookie season. Wheeler's words added another layer to Clark's story. Beyond the records, beyond the media attention, she was just a kid who loved basketball. And that's what made her so special.
All we do is have fun. With Caitlin Clark, who never takes anything serious, like I tell people all the time, she's really a kid at heart.
WNBA legends see the future in Caitlin Clark. Maya Moore saw it. Erica Wheeler saw it. And now, so does the rest of the WNBA. Clark wasn't just breaking records, she was carrying the weight of an entire league's future on her shoulders. And if this full circle moment proves anything, it's that she's more than ready for the challenge.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
It started with doubt. Diana Taurasi, a WNBA legend, laughed off the idea that Caitlin Clark would dominate at the next level. Lisa Leslie questioned if she could even win Rookie of the Year outright. And Cynthia Cooper, she thought Clark was just another shooter. But then the season happened. Clark's shattered records brought millions of new fans to the WNBA and turned former skeptics into believers. Now the same legends who doubted her are praising her. So what made these MVPs change their minds? And more importantly, what did they say after Clark proved them wrong? Let's break it all down. Diana Taurasi wasn't just skeptical, she was dismissive. Before Clark even stepped onto a WNBA court, Taurasi warned that reality was coming and that Clark would struggle to adjust to playing against grown women.
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
At the time, it seemed like just another veteran humbling a rookie, but Taurasi's words took on a new meaning as Clark started breaking records immediately. Clark's impact wasn't just about scoring. She was dictating the pace of games, setting teammates up for success, and thriving under pressure. By mid-season, Taurasi's tone changed. Instead of talking about Clark's weaknesses, she was suddenly talking about Clark's work ethic, her ability to handle pressure, and her love for the game. Taurasi even went as far as to embrace Clark post-game, offering her respect in front of the cameras. This wasn't just a small moment, it was a complete reversal. But Taurasi wasn't the only MVP to admit Clark was the real deal. Lisa Leslie made headlines when she publicly stated that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese should share the Rookie of the Year award. That statement fueled an already heated debate between fans who believed Clark was clearly the best rookie.
The whole point of the voters is that you have to make tough decisions. And I do still think the decision is tougher than you seem to think. I still stand on the fact that I think that is Caitlin Clark because of all of the things that I've mentioned before, but because people don't really do their research, I'll remind them again, because it is harder to translate as a guard right away in the league, and also because of not just the historical stuff that she's doing, but because she is so integral to what the Fever do and the idea that she is at the moment leading her team to the postseason. How you contribute to your team and what your contributions mean in terms of team success is important. And so I think that it should be Caitlin Clark as Rookie of the Year, while I still enjoy the debate for people that feel like it should be Angel Reese.
And those who wanted Reese to receive equal recognition.
Should there be a co-Rookie of the Year? Because Angel Reese is, of course, doing historical things with her double-doubles as a rookie, and Caitlin Clark already has set 1 million records and looks completely unstoppable, especially when it comes to dishing. And it feels like we are both on the same page here. No,
they're not equal. It's not Rookies of the Year. It is the rookie who has had the biggest impact on their team, and it's unequivocally, and the odds are saying that it's even distancing itself even further, that it's Caitlin Clark. She is leading in all of the statistical categories as a rookie, minus rebounds. Obviously, Angel Reese is averaging a double-double, but the impact on the team, we are talking again at nauseum about Caitlin Clark leading as a rookie the Fever to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. They are ahead of the Chicago Sky. So I think, to me, if this is even breaching a conversation of splitting this, it might as well be, hey, you're a rookie, here's an award. You're also a rookie, here's just an award for being a rookie.
However, as the season unfolded, Leslie's stance shifted. Clark wasn't just performing well, she was carrying the Indiana Fever and rewriting the WNBA's history books in the process. Leslie eventually changed her position, admitting that Clark had adjusted to the WNBA better than she expected. It was a clear sign that even legends couldn't ignore what was happening. Cynthia Cooper had been one of Clark's biggest question marks. She believed Clark was talented, but thought she was just another three-point shooter. However, as Clark's game evolved, Cooper saw something different. She started calling Clark crafty, praising her vision and playmaking. Cooper even admitted that Clark was a much better passer than she initially gave her credit for. For someone like Cooper, a player who dominated the early years of the WNBA, this was a huge admission. It wasn't just about Clark's ability to shoot, it was about how she saw the game. Clark didn't just win over fans, she forced WNBA legends to reevaluate their beliefs.
Brought that noise. And the fact that she can knock down the NBA three-pointer, especially back then, and still get to the rim when you played up on her, like she was cat quick. She just really brought the complete package. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so-so. She is a great passer.
She made believers out of doubters. And the best part? She's just getting started. 62 records. Not 6, not 10, but 62. That's how many WNBA records Caitlin Clark rewrote in her first season alone. From assists to three-pointers to all-star votes, she didn't just make history, she erased the old records and built new ones in their place. But the real question is, how did she do it? Let's break down the numbers that even Clark's biggest critics can't argue with. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court for her WNBA debut, expectations were sky high. But instead of crumbling under the pressure, she thrived. Her playmaking ability was immediately on display, and it didn't take long for her to start shattering records. Most assists in a single season by a rookie, Clark owns it. Most assists in a single game by a rookie, that's hers too. But she wasn't just dishing out assists, she was a scoring machine. Clark broke multiple three-point shooting records, proving that her limitless range from college translated perfectly to the pro game. And that wasn't even the most impressive part. Clark wasn't just dominating on the court, she was dominating the conversation. Her popularity reached unprecedented levels, and fans made sure the league took notice. The result? Clark received more All-Star votes than any player in WNBA history. More than Breanna Stewart, more than Aja Wilson, more than anyone, ever. Her impact was so undeniable that even WNBA veterans who once questioned her abilities had to acknowledge her greatness. Before Caitlin Clark, no WNBA rookie had ever put up numbers like this. Rookies are supposed to struggle. They're supposed to take time to adjust. But Clark? She adjusted immediately. Instead of hitting the rookie wall, she only got better as the season went on. She wasn't just breaking records, she was changing the way people viewed rookie seasons. Clark's record-breaking season does more than add numbers to her resume. It sends a message to the WNBA, to her critics, and to the fans. She's not just a great rookie, she's a generational talent. And the scary part? This is just year one. Before Caitlin Clark, the WNBA was growing, slowly. After Caitlin Clark, it exploded. More fans, more sellouts, more people watching women's basketball than ever before. And the numbers don't lie. Clark isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. So how exactly did she turn the WNBA into must-watch television? Let's break it all down. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, measurable, and impossible to ignore. Before Clark, WNBA arenas rarely sold out. The moment she entered the league, Indiana Fever games became the hottest ticket in sports. Road games in New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas packed. Even teams that never struggled to sell tickets, like the Chicago Sky and Phoenix Mercury, saw Clark-related attendance spikes. And it wasn't just in-person crowds, TV numbers skyrocketed too. The Indiana Fever's debut game shattered viewership records, pulling in millions of viewers, more than some NBA playoff games. ESPN, ABC, and CBS started prioritizing WNBA broadcasts like never before. Why? Because people were tuning in specifically to watch Clark play. Veteran superstars Breanna Stewart and Candace Parker didn't hesitate to give Clark her due. Parker, who has been a face of the league for years, stated that Clark wasn't just helping the WNBA. She was changing the game of basketball, period.
I think that's what she's done for the game, you know, in general. I don't say women's basketball, I say the game of basketball, period. You want to see a show, and I think that that's the biggest thing. You always talk about Steph being a showman. I mean, this is a showman right here.
Yes.
You're able to have sellout crowds to come and see you play. You have student sections that hate you, that want you to lose. That's what sports is, and that's what competition is, and Caitlin's brought all of that and some.
She compared Clark's star power to Steph Curry's influence in the NBA, saying Clark had become a must-watch attraction that fans simply couldn't ignore. Meanwhile, Tina Charles, another WNBA legend, admitted that the league was now experiencing a level of attention it had never seen before. And the reason? Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I mean, the energy that we're getting, the reception, the eyes that we're getting on us, it's amazing. And it's just because of that new generation that's coming in.
So we know who Caitlin Clark is and what she's been able, her impact in this league and especially this year. So however we can get it, I'll take it for me personally. So just thankful that I'm able to be a part of it and still be here to witness it.
Clark's on-court dominance is one thing. Her off-court influence is another. She's pulling in endorsement deals at an unprecedented rate, becoming the most marketable WNBA player of all time. Her jersey sales, the highest in league history. Her sponsorship deals, Nike, Gatorade, and dozens of other global brands are lining up. No other rookie has ever had this level of commercial appeal. Clark's impact isn't temporary. She's changing the WNBA permanently. More fans are watching, more kids are picking up a basketball, more companies are investing. And this is just her first year. What happens when Clark wins championships? What happens when she becomes an even bigger star? The WNBA isn't just growing, it's exploding. And Caitlin Clark is the reason why.